Hi, this is Julie at Julie Loses, and welcome to another installment after a very long break of my online weight loss video diary. Things are a little bit different now. You might be able to see my last video, which will be linked below. I've had quite a physical change between now and then, and I felt the need to come on and give an honest update of how I've been doing, what I've been up to, what's going on in my life, and all of that jazz. A lot has happened, folks. It is, what is today? It is Thursday. It's May 14th, 2015. And I don't even know how many months it's been since. I think it's been at least 9 or 10 months. I think my last entry was in September sometime. So a very long time that I've been absent. And over the last 6 months, I would say I've undergone a real sea change in my life. Some really good things have happened, and some really bad things have happened. So let's just get it all out in the open. Let's start with the good first, because it's better to start with the good things first. The good thing is that Christmas morning, my boyfriend of 10 years proposed, and so we got engaged, and we were married on Pi Day in a small private little elopement, and so I have a ring now, and I am a married woman, so that's new. That's about the best news I can give. That's really one of the most awesome things that's happened to me, and I'm very happy that we've sort of sealed that deal, even though we've been living with each other for 8 years now going on. It hasn't changed much, but it was something I wanted, so I was happy that happened. And he proposed very sweetly and in a perfect way, and we got married on Pi Day. And you know, I am a sort of a nerd about pie, or maybe not a nerd, maybe I'm a dork about pie. So it was fitting that it was like the best Pi Day ever. It was 3:14:15, and then we got married at 9:26 in the morning. But let's not go into detail on that. Anyway, so I'm married. Yay! Big change, right? Big change. But then a whole bunch of bad stuff happened. Planning even our little elopement, turns out it's really stressful. I'm not a very feminine chick, which I don't think is news to anybody who knows me. Tomboy through and through. The fact that I have long hair is about the only really girly thing about me. That, and I really like Pitch Perfect. But anyway, so I had wanted to sort of like be kind of fancy for me. I decided, you know, I was very cagey about it with the then boyfriend, but I wanted to wear a dress and wear makeup, which is something, both of those things I've like never really done. So that brought up a whole lot of like self-image issues, and by the time I started planning the whole thing, which was in January, I had gained a sizable amount of weight. Turns out, starting to work and sort of, I find my job to be kind of pseudo-stressful, and I haven't been able to figure out the lifestyle yet. And it was really hard, and I had gained about 20 pounds to 25 pounds to, okay, let's say 30 pounds. 20 to 30 pounds between my last weigh-in, which I think I was about like 178 or something, to I had gone back and been over 200 pounds. So that was that was a challenge. That was a struggle. I was not feeling great about myself, and turns out I was stressing myself out. Then the real bad stuff happened. People just started getting sick. And one of those people was my father. About 3 weeks before our secret elopement wedding had been planned to occur, I got a call that my dad had taken very ill and was in the hospital. He had been treated for cancer, which, as far as I knew, was going really well. He had had surgical treatment and other treatment, and everybody had told me that everything was going really well. And it turns out that it wasn't, and in about a month's time, he had lost a lot of weight, stopped eating, and finally a brother convinced him to go to the hospital. And I got a call that it was bad. I flew down the next day, and it was indeed very, very bad. Turns out he had stage 4 lung cancer, which I guess had spread from his neck region, which may have spread from his mouth region, which may have spread from his nose region. But all that to say, by the time I got down there, he had almost died. He was very close to death. And being merely 3 weeks away from our secret wedding, it was a lot of stress. It's like, what am I going to do? You know, my dad's very sick and in the hospital. I need to be down here for him, and I also need to take care of these other things, and should we delay the wedding? And just having a lot of issues around the logistical stuff, which was one tiny hassle, and then the whole aspect of, gosh, my dad is mortal, and he looked very scared and very frail, and that was really hard to see. And it was very hard to see my brothers having pain with this as well. So, but a lot of that stress stopped because about a week and a half later, he had passed away. It was very quick. Within a week and a half of him being placed in the hospital, he had gone into the ICU for a little while and then was released from there and was told he was going to be moving into hospice. Didn't make it into hospice care. Didn't leave the hospital. And that was a week and a half before our planned wedding, which is like, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? This is horrible. How do I feel about this? And I've had some losses of like my grandparents before, but this was different. So I ate my way through most of my feelings, most of my stress with it. We did decide to go forward with the wedding as planned. I had told my dad about it when I visited him in the hospital for about a week, and I felt that it was the right thing for me to do, and I'm glad we did it. It was fun. It was a fun it was a fun weekend in what has become just a hellish year so far. Kind of a killjoy. Apologize for that. With my father passing, there were arrangements that needed to be made. Nothing had been put together. I have 2 younger siblings who were fairly dependent on my father and are having a very, very tough time. There's a whole probate process that's very, very difficult. I had to encounter some family members that I had chosen in my adult life to remove from my life for personal and important reasons, that I had to re-enter their orbit. That was very stressful. And then dealing with the fact that I was missing a lot of work, feeling like woefully depressed, and very anxiety ridden. And over the last, I would say, 3 months, I've probably gained another 25 pounds. So that's where I find myself right now. Been having a really, really tough time with my moods, and my eating has been completely, off the rails. Not only off the rails, but like, you know, if I've fallen off a wagon, it's rolled over me a few times, and I've just laid there and taken it. Fast food has become my food. I haven't eaten a home-cooked meal in a very long time, up until very recently. And I've sought help for it recently. About a week ago, I reached out for some counseling, which was much needed. And food issues aside, I have a lot of grief issues to try to manage. It doesn't help that there are people around me also suffering with the loss of loved ones. You know, I've got 3 people in my orbit who have lost a husband, a son, and a brother. And coming off of a recent close family member's death, it's just like, you just see it it just feels like it's everywhere. It feels like everything's really bad for everybody, and it's very, very depressing is the best word I can come up with. So I've been having trouble working, been having trouble keeping my head screwed on straight and acting like a functioning adult. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, and the light is hope and hopefully resilience as well. You get to these points with your behaviors where you stop and you're like, God, this is enough. And I've done that a lot these last like 9 months. I've had a lot of those epiphanies where it's like, God, I just gotta stop. I just gotta get it on track again. And I'm having one of those moments now, and I'm hoping that I'm seeking the balance, and I'm coming back to my center, hopefully. And I thought one of the things I could do to help me get back into the swing of things is to post a video. I've started Instagramming a little bit on the Julie Loses Instagram page. I have, again, I'm working with a counselor to deal with some of my issues. We've decided to move outside of the food sphere for now. I'm going to work on that myself in a way that feels good for me. And in the last day or so, I've felt pretty good about myself. And I know it's just a day, but that's really all it takes is hope and starting from scratch yet again, and hopefully it takes this time. Weighing stuff. Well, I did get on a scale a couple days ago, and I weighed 235 pounds, I think. I don't remember the ounces. I was actually expecting to weigh a little bit more. It's really hard. I was down in the 170s, and I thought I was never going to see a number over 200 again. So the humbling nature of seeing that number is something I can't quite explain, but I know that this is the most common experience with people who've lost weight, is the almost inevitable gain. And it's something that I need to accept. I don't know that I have accepted it. There is a big part of me that is like, you are a failure. You cannot do this. You are destined to be big. Your body wants to be big, and there is nothing you can do to keep it from being big. And I have talked with some people and read a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of evidence that says, yeah, that's the reality. There's set point theory, and there's things of that nature. But I started watching some of my earlier videos from about a year ago. And, Facebook has this funny little feature. It's like a look back feature where you can enable it, and it will, on a daily basis, If you've posted something a year ago, it will show interesting things from a year ago and 2 years ago and however many years ago you posted on that day. And I about a couple weeks ago had enabled that, and I've been seeing these posts about like going out on hikes and, you know, making meals, and that was my reality for a reasonable amount of time. And I wanted that again. So I've started venturing out a little bit, been on a couple of hikes, taken some long walks with the family, and starting to get back into the groove. Yesterday I summoned for me right now, what feels like an enormous amount of mental energy to go to the grocery store. And I avoided picking up a pint of Ben & Jerry's red velvet cake ice cream, which has been probably about 20 of the 50 or so pounds that I've gained. It's a lot. But I managed to buy fresh fruits and vegetables, and found a recipe on Skinny Taste that sounded pretty good. It was a flank steak seasoned with cumin and garlic, and made a black bean and corn salsa. And my husband now, I have a really tough time not accidentally referring to him as my boyfriend. Husband still sounds kind of weird, so the husband helped me out with that, and he's been ridiculously supportive of me, and just ever the person in my corner. So yeah, so we made dinner last night, and it was great, and I've been tracking, and today, you know, took the time to make a nice breakfast for myself these last 2 days. Just really trying to focus on, as crazy as work can kind of be right now, and as crazy as the thoughts going on around me and in here are, taking the time to take care of myself is what I have to do. I have to prioritize that. So this morning I got up, I was running a little bit late, but I was like, you know what, I have to take the time to make my eggs and my toast and some strawberries and prepare it and have some tea. And I got out of the house a little bit later than I wanted to, and was a little bit late to work because traffic was heavy, but it's okay, because this is more important for me right now than being super on time to work. Taking a long enough lunch to be able to walk and go get a healthy meal is more important than forgetting to take lunch, or, you know, rushing through it to get all the work done. I can get the work done. That's not an issue. What's an issue is taking care of me. And I haven't been doing that in a really long time. So, yeah. So we're going to see what this turns into. You know, I'm not going to make any plans. I do have a couple of goals in mind. And Eric is starting to talk about honeymoons, and I'm like, let's not think about it, because I'm super out of shape. And, you know, I look back at the videos that what I was doing, hiking Little Cy, Rattlesnake Ridge, you know, going on many mile hikes, and thinking of a hike I did a couple weeks ago where I did like 2 miles, and it just wrecked me. It just wrecked me really hard, and it was a good wrecked, but it was still like, oh, I definitely lost a lot of my conditioning these last several months, and it's unpleasant. It's not a good feeling. It doesn't make me feel good about myself, but I gotta have that hope that I can get back to that. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't, like, the larger part of myself was saying, like, no, 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 you had your chance, you failed, this is your new reality for the rest of your life. But I'm going to be 40 in about a month and a half, and yeah, I really want to start fitting into my clothes again. Maybe not by 40, but by the end of the summer, I would like to be able to fit in my clothes. That's one of the hardest things. I gotta tell you, like, I bought not a lot of clothes, but just enough clothes last summer to sort of, you know, keep myself comfortable. And I haven't bought, like, hardly anything since. I think I bought a couple pairs of jeans back in, like, November. But I'm down to, like, having hardly any pairs of pants I can wear. I cannot fit into them any longer. And I'm having to delve into the old pants that I wore when I was, you know, heavy and, like, at my biggest. And that is, that's really defeating. That does not, and it does not help with your self-esteem in the slightest. So that's really rough. And I am gotta work on that. Maybe I need to go buy myself some clothes that I feel comfortable in, so every morning putting jeans on isn't a completely defeating process. What are things that I can do for me? So yeah, my immediate goals are to maybe buy some clothes that I feel comfortable in, try to stay on this cleaner eating, you know, making food at home. I'm really happy about the lunches I've been doing at work lately. I'm fortunate to have a really good area, like a cafeteria area. They have a lot of different choices, a lot of healthy options, and so that's in my favor. I just gotta make sure that I'm not driving to Starbucks every morning and getting a grande, non-fat, no-whip, white chocolate mocha and a slice of pumpkin loaf at every day, because turns out that's not only very expensive, but it's very fattening. And not doing fast food every day for dinner through the drive-thru. Turns out, you know, that wouldn't be so hard if you just, like, I mean, that would be bad enough if you're ordering, like, a Big Mac meal every night or a combo meal or something. But when you order a combo meal and then another couple of things on top of that, and then maybe have a pint of ice cream after that, yeah, that's not healthy. That's not working. It doesn't make me feel good. And I want to feel those positive feelings. I want to grow from this, and I realize this is a journey, and a journey is going to have, you know, ways to go up and ways to go down. But I want to keep going up. I want to get back to that place. So that's where I am now. This is my big admission. I've gotten really fat again. I'm not back to square one, but I'm about halfway set back, and I have a long way to go. And if you are watching this, thanks for giving it a watch. Part of me feels bad. Like I've let not only myself down, but I've let other people down. And I don't think that's real, because I think I know that this is such a common experience, you know? I know that this happens all the time. Oh, here's another big thing. I'm sorry that this is so long, but I got an email a few weeks ago from someone from CNN. Legitimately from CNN, not from some, like, person pretending to be CNN. Who wanted to feature these videos on a program, and as part of an inspirational stories that they're, you know. And she wanted to call me and talk about it and do all this stuff. And I sat on it for about a week. I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. Let's chat and get more info. And I just felt like such a fake. I felt like, how can I let them air any of these videos when that's not who I am now? I just didn't feel comfortable with it. I just responded to her. I said, I don't feel totally comfortable exposing my content to a larger audience at this time, but feel free to reach out again. I've not closed it off. I'm very flattered that people would see that and want to share it with people. I just am not proud of my behaviors and what I've come to over the last 9 or 10 months, and I have to get over that. I have to know that starting from scratch is not a bad thing. This resilient nature is in my best interest, and I can do it. I can do it. Do I believe that? Yes, or else I wouldn't be making this video and posting it. We'll see if I even post it, but I appreciate it, you guys. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully next time won't come so far distant into the future this time. So until that next time, take care.